Cumber's a character from Super Dragon Ball Heroes and one that was introduced as an absolute beast that could fight Super Saiyan Blue Vegito to a standstill. This makes him the perfect villain to introduce against an even stronger version of the Dragon Team like the one of today's story, and putting him alongside the golden likes of Frieza, Cooler, and King Cold makes it even more difficult for them. This is the continuation of What If Raditz Fought Goku at Kame House, a story we've been weaving here for months now, and actually the first ever one on the channel. Now, if you're new to this channel, check out part 1 right above my head. I actually just remade it, so it's fresh and new. Leave a like and subscribe. It helps the channel out more than you'll ever know. And leave your comments below on the thoughts and feelings on the chapter. In our last part, we had seen Raditz finally achieve a new form of his own, known as Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker, and he immediately went into battle against Super Saiyan 4 Cumber. Although he was already on the back foot, he was actually putting up a better fight than anyone else present at the moment. In the midst of the chaos, however, Frieza had made his escape, living to fight another day. Cooler and King Cold had been left behind, however, and Vegeta averted his attention to them. Things at a glance seemed to be going in the Dragon Team's favor. However, Cumber is far from done. Let's continue. Cumber was starting to become moderately concerned about the battle at hand. He was hiding it very well, but throughout the battle, he had taken quite a bit of damage. He tanked an entire Spirit Bomb, fought several Saiyans with Super Saiyan God power, and all the while, he was toying with them, not showing off his higher forms right off the bat, and that may have been to his own fault. These newer Saiyans completely different from his own time, seemed to be built completely differently from him. The longer the battle went, the more forms they unlocked. He needed to start ending things a lot quicker. However, he knew for a fact that he had taken things seriously on multiple occasions, and still not managed to take out a single one of them. But now, here he was in Super Saiyan 4, at the very end of his power. It was all or nothing, and with a mighty roar, he started pushing back against Raditz, getting more and more hits in as the battle went on. As their battle became more intense, the effects of their fight began to ripple across the entire battlefield. Cooler's own minions started to become afraid for their own lives, knowing that they would soon be collateral damage if they stuck around. They frantically started making their way towards their ships, trying to follow in Frieza's footsteps, abandoning their own leader. The Galactic Patrol did their best to try and block off as many as they could, however, some did manage to escape. "It seems as though this fight is almost done, brother! Look at them trying to flee!" exclaimed Champa as he was looking down at the battlefield and all the scared souls frantically making their way into ships. I'm not so sure about that, Champa," replied Beerus, whose attention was still fully on the fight between Raditz and Cumber. Whis and Vados' staffs had begun blinking, and it didn't go unnoticed to Beerus and Champa. It turns out there were now viewers from other universes watching. They had no idea how many, but for all they knew, it was every universe seeing the power display. The fight amped up even further, but it was entirely one-sided. Cumber was now ragdolling Raditz around, and as Raditz became more desperate, he realized that he wasn't going to win this battle. He needed to do something to at least damage Cumber, so that the next people could finally finish him off. The openings, however, were just so few and far between. Many onlookers were watching, from Goku to Goten and Trunks. Even Nappa had gotten back onto his feet, cheering for Raditz. However, there was one person whose voice meant more to him than anyone else's. Even in the sea of noise, he could still hear her cheering for him, and it was all the motivation he needed. His daughter Kine was yelling at him to get back up and finish off Cumber, and using this motivation, he managed to start pushing back. Not enough to win or anything, but putting an opening up for him to deliver a very good double Sunday directly onto Cumber. It left him completely open, and he received a massive blow in return, but he did it. He managed to deal some damage to Cumber. As the two of them traded their final blow of the battle, Raditz fell out of his form and landed on the ground, and Cumber stayed in the sky, writhing in pain. Kine immediately started flying over to her father with an attempt to heal him. However, Cumber noticed this and attempted to shoot her out of the sky. Goku responded using instant transmission, gathering her and taking her directly to Raditz, and then he stared up angrily at Cumber, knowing full well that he was about to kill a child. Goku was done with the games. He immediately powered into Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken and charged at Cumber. The two of them started clashing, with Goku obviously not having the upper hand. Even with all the pain, Cumber was fighting through it and knocking Goku around as if it were nothing. Across the battlefield, Gohan was becoming preoccupied with the fight. His attention was no longer fully on Cooler and King Cold, and it was showing. However, Vegeta and Piccolo were more than enough to handle the two of them at this point. "Hey boy, I can tell you want to go help your father. Go make sure that clown doesn't get killed." What? Vegeta? Are you sure? "Blast it, you dolt! I don't like repeating myself! Get out of here!" "He's right, Gohan. We've got this. Don't worry about us." Piccolo chimed in as well. "Listen to me, Gohan. I'm speaking from experience. That Saiyan is a beast, in a league of his own. None of us alone can handle him. You need to work together with your father." Gohan nodded and immediately flew away. There was no objection from King Cold and Cooler. They were happy to see a fighter leave the opposite side. It seems as though this fight has gotten a little more in our favor, eh, son?" "Hey, Vegeta, if Gohan's leaving, can I join in?" King Cold and Cooler looked over to see that Nappa had just arrived. As one Saiyan left, another one came in. After flying for a little bit and formulating a strategy, Gohan decided to try and hit a vital weak point at this point on Cumber. He used instant transmission, showing up right behind Cumber and landing a punch directly at where the spirit bomb had made contact on his back. This caught Cumber off guard just long enough for Goku to kick him directly into the ground, and it gave them a brief breathing moment to talk. "Son, you have no idea how happy I am to see you right now. Even after we wore him down so much, he's still just too powerful for one of us to face alone. I fought him, Vegeta fought him, even Nappa and Gotenks. Broly even got a few hits in, and it hasn't done enough. Even a spirit bomb with all that power in it didn't even take him off his feet for a moment. Yeah, Dad, even Vegeta was talking about how fighting him alone is basically suicide. It's crazy how powerful he is, but together, I'm sure we can overcome him. We've always done it before." Goku put a smile on his face. He was really happy to be fighting alongside his son, even if the situation was so dire. And then it clicked in his head. He still had those earrings with him, the Potara earrings for fusion. Whis told him that he could only use it in the most dire of situations, one where they were completely backed in a corner. He looked up to Whis, the angel who was supposed to remain neutral in all these conflicts, and, to his surprise, the angel gave him a small nod. Impartial or not, Whis knew a dire situation when he saw one, and he promptly gave his approval. Goku turned back to Gohan. "Listen, Gohan, I wouldn't ask you if I felt like there were any other option, but I think we're out of them." Goku started to say as he fumbled through his stuff looking for the earrings. He pulled them out with his hand wide open. "I think we've got a fuse. Together, we should be powerful enough to take him out no problem." Gohan nodded, and as Cumber emerged from the ground, he saw a bright flash of light take place right above him. Where the two of them were formerly hovering, now there was only one being. This new being slowly dropped to the ground to meet Cumber at eye level, staring at him the entire time. "I am no fool. You are a combination of the two I was just fighting. Tell me, who are you supposed to be?" "Huh. That's actually quite a good question. We are the combination of Goku and Gohan." Goku? Gohan? No. Goku. Wow, this is really difficult. I can't. Gohan. It doesn't. It's so, our names are already so similar. Cumber was becoming incredibly irate as he was watching his new foe constantly stumble on his words, trying to come up with a new name. He attempted to move in to strike while he was caught off guard. However, this new foe powered up, not with a new hairstyle or anything like that, but the power increase was clearly there, and as the punch came in, it was easily caught. "That was awfully rude of you, Cumber. I was just as happy not giving you my name at all, but you asked for it. I would have been perfectly happy just punching your face in without any words at all." This fusion of Goku and Gohan may have been struggling to figure out a name, but it didn't struggle at all picking out a form suitable enough to take out their worn-out foe. Opting to use the ultimate form rather than any of the god forms, the difference wasn't really noticeable to the naked eye, but Cumber certainly felt it when he received a punch to the face. One that he did see coming, but the blast that he had received from Raditz prevented him from having enough reaction time with his arms. Cumber went flying back as all the spectators watched on in amazement. Raditz, who had recently regained consciousness and was being healed by his daughter, managed to look up enough to see it happen with a smile on his face, knowing that he had indeed made a difference. Cumber managed to stop himself in midair, but immediately had his foe on him again. The two of them started punching at each other, mainly with the hits getting deflected, and Cumber landing the occasional blow, but receiving a lot more than he was taking. Cumber was becoming desperate. He started blasting at the likes of Kine, Trunks, and Goten, trying to get this fusion off of him, and it succeeded. His foe used instant transmission to rescue all three of them and move them to a farther away location, Raditz included. He kept at it, starting to fire at Galactic Patrol members as well, knowing full well that his opponent would constantly try and save them, and it was working. He was drawing out the clock, trying to think of a plan, a means of escape, or, at the very worst, hoping that this instant transmission technique that his opponent kept using was wasting away his energy slowly but surely. Cumber was doing everything in his power to bide for time while he tried to figure something out. But Beerus, looking upon the battle, was becoming disappointed at the show. "Whis, I think it's time," Beerus stated as he took the sword that Whis had brought with him. Moments later, Cumber found himself with a god of destruction standing right in front of him. "I hear tell you like to slay gods, but I've got some bad news for you. Playing with paltry Super Saiyan gods is the least of your problem. You're dealing with the god of destruction now, and meet your home." Cumber, who was having absolutely none of it, went to swing at the god of destruction, and it absolutely didn't connect. But before the swing was even completed, he started to feel himself being pulled towards something. It was the sword that this cat-like god was talking about. Everyone just watched on in shock as Cumber's body was absorbed seemingly into the sword. He was completely sealed away inside of it. Beerus had decided that if he had tried to Hakai him, it may not work because of his sheer power. He might manage to overcome it and not be erased from existence. And if he was killed, he could always be brought back to life again with this seemingly growing collection of Dragon Balls in the galaxy. Sealing him up seemed like the best option, at least for now. And as soon as he was gone, everyone eased up. The entire atmosphere seemed to change, and everyone that was fighting on Cumber's side pretty much immediately surrendered. King Cold and Cooler included. The two of them recognized that if they didn't surrender right now while the Galactic Patrol was there to detain them, Vegeta would probably just finish them off anyway. And if they'd attempted to blow up the planet, Beerus might not be happy with it. He had shown a clear sign that he was willing to stop Cumber, and for all they knew, he might try and stop them too. This sudden turn of events was very much welcomed by the Dragon Team, who all took a sigh of relief. They had finally done it. Protected Planet Vegeta, and Earth by proxy, from these assailants. With a victory on their shoulders, they all came together for a celebration. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. Just a super quick heads up, ever since this channel started, I have been doing an upload of this particular series every single week. Now, going forward, I need to be able to formulate the story a little bit better. So I'm going to be moving it to a bi-weekly update. So expect new videos on this series every other week, and in the in-between weeks, I'm going to be starting a new series. So get ready for that. If you guys like a story with fusions, check out this one-off story where Beerus never wakes up, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!